Now, Cardano ADA has been trading sideways within this channel that I've been talking about over the last couple of days, between 70 cents and 72 cents. And I anticipated ADA to reach the 70-cent mark, but instead we ended up seeing a breakout to the upside where we ended up retesting the 200 EMA, got rejected, and then we have since been trading within this channel once again where we've been bouncing off the 50 EMA and finding rejection. Now, it looks like we are in what I like to call a trader's market, where essentially you have those that leverage trade making the most of the opportunity by essentially making anywhere between 5 and 10% gains. And so that's reflected by this price chart that you can see where we have some choppiness on the candlesticks. And so essentially what you have is also, three-wave moves or corrective moves. So for example, here you have a WXY structure. And here it looks like we have an irregular flat wave where you have a W, X, and your Y wave. So the X wave tends to extend beyond the wave W origin. And then you have another three-wave move here. And so one quick sense check that we can do is to check to see if this Y wave met its minimum requirements. And typically that would be anywhere between 1 and 1.236. And so if I actually bring this to here. So yeah, you can see that that met its minimum requirements. And so, yeah, we are kind of choppy at the moment as things stand, and it's not really surprising. I think we have the Fed rate decision coming up next week, Wednesday, and so there is some uncertainty right now within the markets. I do think that there's going to be a pause on the Fed rate, and so, I think people are just waiting until that decision has been finalized and made before they can then make a decision on whether or not, they can purchase some stocks or, go into crypto. Or, they can hold off and purchase bonds instead, who knows. Now, with that being said, one thing that you have to be mindful of is a corrective move to the downside where we could potentially see a 50 to 88.2% retracement. So we could see ADA potentially reach anywhere between 66 cents and 70 cents. Now, it's not necessarily a bad thing because we will still be above our local low at 65 cents. But that is one thing to be mindful of because on I believe the 4-hour chart, we are overbought on our stochastic RSI. Now, just because we are overbought, it doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to see moves to the downside where, this local low will be broken. What we could see is a continuation of what we've experienced over the last couple of days where we've traded sideways. But of course, you have to, expect the unexpected and anticipate ADA potentially reaching anywhere between 66 cents and 70 cents. Now, on the flip side to that, all the indicators on the smaller time frames like the hourly chart or the 30-minute chart or the 15-minute chart, what you can see is the stochastic RSI is within the oversold conditions. And so, as you can see on the 30-minute chart and on the hourly chart, and so there is more room to the upside potentially. And what I'd like to see is for ADA to once again retest that 200 EMA. Now, even if we find rejection, it's still a good sign because essentially what that would tell me is we have some buying pressure within this zone here. And so for as long as we continue to hold this position between this channel, then I am going to continue to be bullish. And, this will essentially tell me that we are potentially within our wave 3 and we are on a move to the upside. And should that be the case, that wave 3 would be a 1.618 retracement of our wave 1. And so we could potentially see ADA reach anywhere between, or a minimum at least, of $2. So yeah, that's obviously bullish for all. And so yeah, for as long as we continue to hold this position, then I am happy in my eyes. And I think this will be a really good opportunity for people to be dollar cost averaging. And even if we continue to see moves to the downside where we, reach 66 cents, this will still be a good position to be buying in when you, zoom out and see the long-term play. And so, yeah, I'm expecting more or less the same for the remainder of this week where, we are going to continue to trade sideways. And I would like to see ADA, bounce with that 200 DMA at least and test it. And I wouldn't be surprised as well if we, reach that 70 cent mark that I was talking about yesterday. It's not necessarily a bad thing. And so, yeah, that's just my quick update on ADA. Hopefully you found this useful. And if you did, then feel free to hit that like button. And if you're new, feel free to subscribe. Take it easy, people. Peace.